This is Yogita Patel. Today's topic is types of wells. Now, what is well? Water well is a hole or shaft, usually vertical, excavated into the earth for bringing groundwater to the surface. All of us have already seen different types of wells. It is nothing but an excavation which is drilled into the ground to tap the groundwater or to bring it on the surface. This definition has been given by Todd in 1980. There are certain types of wells like bore wells, dug wells, tube wells. We are going to see these types further. What are the function of wells? Well serves different purposes. Some of them are as follows. First, to supply water to meet domestic, municipal, industrial, and agricultural requirements. As we need water for different purposes in our day to day life, to meet these water needs, wells are very useful. Then, to control seawater intrusion, it is applicable to the wells which are located in coastal areas where there is a intrusion of seawater has been taken place. To control this intrusion, wells are necessary. Then, to remove contaminated water from a polluted aquifer. Sometimes there is a groundwater pollution and it is necessary to drain out that contaminated water. For this purpose, wells are used. Then, to lower water table for construction projects. Sometimes during construction of any project, the water table is very high at that particular site and it is harmful for that construction. Hence, it is necessary to remove the water, and for that purpose, wells are used. Then, to relieve pressure under dams. Dams are suffered water pressure and sometimes it is very high and it affects the stability of the dam. Hence, to relieve this pressure, wells are useful. And last is to drain agricultural and urban land. These are main functions of wells. Then, this is the broad classification of wells. First, water supply wells, then recharge wells, drainage wells, and monitoring wells. We have already seen the functions. Accordingly, these are certain types of wells. Monitoring wells, all of us know that GSDA has their monitoring wells at certain sites and they observe these wells and keep the record of that particular wells. Then the first type of well is open well. It is also known as dug well. We have already seen many of the dug wells. These are in use since ancient times and it is very convenient and very cost effective way of harnessing groundwater, especially from unconfined and shallow aquifers. These wells are very useful to serve domestic and small scale irrigation purposes. These wells can be constructed in both types of formations, that is consolidated like alluvial plains and in unconsolidated like fractured or weathered rock formations. These wells are of two types. They are either circular or rectangular. We have seen mostly circular wells in our area. These wells are suitable for alluvial and other such formations because their higher structural strength. Means, in short, open wells are nothing but dug wells which are common in field or in the house. These may be of smaller or larger dimensions and they are useful to serve day to day needs of water. Again, open wells are divided into two types, unlined and lined. Unlined means there is no support has been given to the walls of the wells. There is no coating has been done on the walls of the wells. When wells are dug in loose and unconsolidated formations, they require lining to prevent collapse of side walls and usually lined by dry bricks or stone masonry. However, we have seen many times the problem of siltation in case of unlined wells. This is due to lack of support or protection to the walls of the wells. Hence, due to weathering and erosion, the siltation occurs and the water carrying capacity of the well goes on decreasing. To avoid this, the well has to be lined with bricks or stone masonry. Impervious lining such as permanent masonry lining are normally used in the open wells constructed in alluvial formations. Generally, stones are used for the lining purposes rather than bricks. These are two types of open wells, that is lined means without support and lined means with support and unlined means without support. Here the diagrams of lined and unlined wells are shown. We can see that in unlined well there is no support to the walls of the wells, while in lined well the support has been given to the well walls. Then next type is duck cum bore wells. It is a combination of wells. It is actually a dug well, but to augment their yield, a bore well has been drilled through it, and it is called as duck cum bore well. Of course, the size of the bore well is generally small, ranging from 4 to 15 centimeters in diameter. It is drilled through the bottom of the dug well up to the water bearing formation or aquifer lying below the well bottom. And generally only one bore is drilled at the center of the dug well in case of unconsolidated formations. But if the formation is consolidated or hard rock terrain is there, we can drill multiple bores in the dug well. This is generally done for the augmented groundwater supply. Means yield from dug well is not sufficient to meet the demands. Hence, to increase that yield, bore wells are drilled in the dug well, and it is known as duck cum bore wells. Then another type of well is tube well. These are similar to bore wells, but their yield is higher as compared with bore wells. The pipes used in tube wells are range in size from 6 to 45 centimeter in diameter, and these are constructed by installing a pipe below the ground surface passing through different geological formation comprising water bearing and non-water bearing strata. Means these are drilled through both pervious as well as impervious rock formations below the earth surface. Casing pipes, as we use it in bore well, they are placed in the non-water bearing layers, and well screens are placed in the water bearing layers. And more than one tube wells have been installed to meet domestic, agricultural as well as industrial water demands. Means they are gone through both pervious as well as impervious rock formations. This is the diagrammatic representation of tube wells. Pipe is shown here in the upper part of the diagram. Then below that casings are there. Next to that soil and groundwater table is there. Then casing has been extended below up to the aquifer. Then impervious layer of clay is there, and below that another aquifer is seen there. This is general structure of tube well. Again, depending upon the depth, the tube wells are classified into two types, shallow and deep. Shallow tube wells are of low capacity and their average depth is normally less than 35 meters, and they are useful to tap water generally from only one aquifer, while deep tube wells are of high capacity and their depth ranges from 60 to 300 meters. Means when there is a large demand for water or large need of water and variable geological formations are there, deep tube wells are generally useful than shallow tube wells. Then a type of tube wells is called as, another type of tube wells is called as cavity wells. It is a shallow tube well which is drilled in alluvial formation. If a relatively thin impervious formation consisting of stiff clay, conglomerate or stone is encountered at a shallow depth, then it is an excellent location for constructing a cavity well. It means that to deal with the impervious rock formation, whether it may be a conglomerate or clay or any other rock which is generally impervious and which lies at shallower depth, then to tap water from the underlying sandy confined aquifer below these impervious formations, cavity wells are very useful, which is nothing but a type of shallow tube well. It is a structure of cavity wells. It is similar to tube well, only the difference is that there is a cavity. We can see it in the diagram. Below the impervious clay formation, we can see a cavity, and below that there is a confined aquifer. This type of wells are called as cavity wells. Then there are certain advantages and disadvantages of open wells. So some of these are advantages of open wells. First is storage is available in the well itself. There is no need to make provision for the storage of the water like in that of case of bore well. We have to store it in separate tanks. There is no need of such tanks or any other facility for storage in case of open wells. Then another is they do not require sophisticated equipment and skilled persons for constructions. We can easily dug open well. There is no requirement of advanced machinery. And third is they are easy to operate by installing an ordinary centrifugal pump or by using a manual water lifting device. We can lift the water even manually also from these wells or by an ordinary pump. These are advantages of open wells. Then these are the disadvantages of open wells. First is they require very huge area. They occupy very huge area. Then their construction is a cumbersome job. It takes much time, and it is very slow and laborious work. Then they are subject to high seasonal fluctuations which affects the yield of water. They may get dry in the year of drought, means there is no assurity of water supply throughout the year. Then they involve high cost of construction as their depth increases, especially in hard rock region. When we dug an open well in hard rock terrain, it involves huge cost. And last one is very deeper aquifers cannot be economically tapped by open wells. For this purpose, only bore wells are useful. These are disadvantages of open wells. Then advantages of tube wells. They do not require much land space and can be constructed even in limited open area. We have already seen bore wells, and it is very common nowadays. It can be adjusted in very smaller space. Then they can be constructed quickly due to mechanized equipment, means it is time effective. Then they can provide sustained supply of water even during drought years. We can recharge them by using techniques like rainwater harvesting, and it assures sustainable supply of groundwater throughout the year. And they are economical and more reliable, especially for tapping deep and extensive aquifers. For exploration of water from deep aquifers, bore wells are or tube wells are very essential. Then these are disadvantages of tube wells. They are costly and require sophisticated drilling equipment. Advanced instruments are there which are necessary for drilling of tube well or bore well, and also they are very costly. Then they also need expertise and maintenance. It also consumes electricity. Then they require costly pumps to lift the water from bore wells. And most important disadvantage is there is a possibility of missing fractures, fissures and joints in hard rock regions, thereby resulting in many dry bore wells. We have seen many cases of dry bore wells. In the starting, the bore well has good water supply, but with passage of time it gets dry. This is due to presence of a fracture, fissure or joint in the subsurface rock formation. These are the important disadvantages of tube wells. And last one is selection of well site and types of well. We have already seen types of wells. Depending upon the site and our requirement, our budget and type of well, we have to choose the well site, which again depends on the following factors. First one is topography. It must be suitable for drilling of the well, which may be a dug well or bore well. Then climate, then vegetation. Most important is geology, that is geological formations. Then hydrological properties of the subsurface rocks like porosity, permeability and other geological and hydrogeological properties, specific yield, infiltration, etc. of the rocks, and presence of joints and faults in the rocks. All these factors affect the site selection for the well and types of wells.